Now at 11, sending support to Sandy Hook, what Thurston students and staff just sent to Connecticut, and why they felt it was so important to share their message. And a snowy disaster. A charter bus in eastern Oregon is sent over an embankment this morning, killing at least 9 people. Where the bus was headed and why ropes were used in the rescue.
Live in Western Oregon, you're watching KMTR News Source 16, and this is News Source 11 at 11.
The cleanup continues tonight after a deadly bus crash this morning in eastern Oregon. At least 9 passengers are dead and more than 20 others are in the hospital. Thanks for joining us tonight for News Source 16. I'm Cyd Anchoring. Megan Higgins has the night off. In tonight's top story, Oregon State Police says it happened before 10:30 this morning near Pendleton. A tour bus lost control over a snow-covered westbound lanes of I-84 near milepost 227. The bus crashed through a guardrail and traveled down an embankment a couple hundred feet before coming to a rest. Emergency personnel trained in rope rescue helped retrieve passengers. Officials estimate there were more than 40 passengers on the bus, which was owned by My Jew Tour and Travel. It was headed back from Las Vegas back home to British Columbia at the time of the crash. And officials say that winter weather also led to another fatal accident on I-84 this morning. 69-year-old Freeman Thomason died in this single vehicle crash. It happened around 6:30 east of Sandfield at milepost 192. The Ford pickup truck was headed eastbound on I-84 when it hit a large patch of ice, went into the center median and rolled. Thomason was pronounced dead at the scene and the driver was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. And a man is in custody tonight accused of trying to rob a deli with a hatchet. Springfield police were called to Ashley's Deli on Main Street just before 9. They say 22-year-old Sydney Queener walked into the deli with a hatchet and demanded money. Customer grabbed Queener from behind, put him in a chokehold, and forced him to drop the weapon. Employees grabbed the hatchet, and the customer held on to Queener until police arrived. He's now facing charges of robbery and menacing. And a Springfield man is facing DUI charges tonight, accused of hitting several parked cars while driving under the influence. 25-year-old Gerardo Castro Aguirre is facing 5 hit-and-run charges as well as resisting her arrest. Police say they were called out to the 600 block of G Street just after midnight. They say the suspect hit 3 parked cars, drove off, and then ran into several properties on 7th Street, destroying fences and a street sign on Springfield High School property. The suspect tried to drive away again, but the car wouldn't work, so police took him into custody after he tried to run off. And about an hour later, Springfield police responded to a report of shots fired, and they're still looking for one of the men involved. Police say 25-year-old Kurt Elkins fired a .22 shotgun into the air during a dispute in the 5500 block of B Street. Elkins told officers he fired the shot after the man threatened him with a knife. After the other man left, Elkins said he went to a nearby residence where he thought the other man lived and started throwing rocks at the home. The man is white, in his 40s, and was wearing a dark black jacket and blue jeans. And a local warming center has opened up tonight with temperatures expected to dip into the 20s. Cottage Grove Beds for Freezing Nights Coalition will welcome adults and families tonight and tomorrow at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church. Organizers say the need for the warming center has doubled since it first opened a few years ago. And since it's a holiday weekend, resources are slim, but volunteers will do their best to accommodate as many people as possible.
We realize that this is a short-term solution. The long-term problem is to help people that have no place to go on the coldest of nights. And so we do have a long-term plan to work with the community on a more permanent solution.
For Monday night, if temperatures stay below 29 degrees later this week, the warming centers will remain open. And speaking of chilly nights, Thomas Jordan is here with a look at our first alert weather. What's it looking like out there, Thomas?
Looking cold. We got temperatures into the 20s in some areas of Oregon. Here we're going to get down to the 20s and 30s in the Eugene, Springfield area. But right now, if you were to step outside, 37 degrees, dew point at 35. Humidity at 92%. Moisture is accumulating, and we got winds out of the north at 5 miles an hour. Lots of activity going along in the Pacific. We've got some low pressure that is making its way to the coast of Oregon as well as southwestern Eugene. I keep saying Eugene, Washington. We've even got some scattered showers that are on the way as well, but we also have some high pressure on the way, which is going to dry things out for the new year. But tonight, temperatures are getting down into those 20s and 30s. If you're along the coast, you are right at that freezing point. 20% chance of some showers, some freezing fog, and cloudy skies. But I'll have more details on your New Year's forecast coming up here in just a minute. Cyd?
Wow, Thomas, it is cold out there. Thank you very much. In less than a week until the Oregon Ducks take on the Kansas State Wildcats in the Fiesta Bowl, Kansas State's leading receiver actually started his career at Oregon. Alex Street is here in the studio to share what he remembers about Chip Kelly tonight.
Cyd, Kansas State senior wide receiver Chris Harper began his college career at Oregon in 2008, Mike Bellotti's last year as head coach. He will end his college career against Oregon on Thursday night. The most popular man in today's media festivities in Arizona talked about his time at Oregon. He said he transferred to K-State because he wanted to go home and not because the Ducks switched him from quarterback to wide receiver. Oregon did have like a zillion quarterbacks at the time. The move actually helped out Oregon's offensive coordinator at the time, a fellow by the name of Chip Kelly. Harper remembers Chip as we all kind of know him, a different sort of cat. And one experience from Oregon's 2008 season opener really stands out to him.
My first game, actually, and we was beating Washington by like 30 points. And I came to the sideline. He was like, "Why are you playing so slow?" I was like, "We're up by like 30 points. Like, don't you want us to slow it down?" But he got that aggressive, pedal to the metal all the time, attitude and I guess swag. I mean, you don't use that for a coach. I really don't like the swag word. I think it's kind of overused, but he has, it's kind of a little aura about him, that's what I liked about him the most.
Chip got his swag. Later in the broadcast, we'll get to see something we haven't seen in the year, part of an Oregon practice, and Joe Leadingham with the final wrap-up of the Alamo Bowl from San Antonio. For right now, Cyd, back to you.
Thanks, Alex. The Lane County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in finding an elderly couple who were last seen Friday. 76-year-old Leslie McAdams and his 77-year-old wife, Juanita, were last seen leaving their home in Springfield at about 5 p.m. on Friday. Leslie is 5'11" and weighs 226 pounds. Juanita is 5'3" and weighs about 200 pounds. They were in a white 2009 Dodge extended cab pickup truck similar to the one here, but their route of travel was unknown. If you have any information on their whereabouts, you're asked to call the Lane County Sheriff's Office. And local students are reaching out to Connecticut, sending support to those affected by the shootings in Sandy Hook Elementary. 2 people died at Thurston High School in 1998 when a student opened fire in the school. And the events in Newtown hit close to home for Thurston. So students, staff, and parents came together to send well wishes to the East Coast. Part of the project was this video with messages of hope written on students' hands.
It's better to feel pain than nothing at all. The opposite of love's indifference.
Students also put together more than 100 cards and included a letter from Thurston's principal, Ed Mendelson, saying the whole school remembers the love and support that was sent to Thurston in 1998, and this is a way of paying back that kindness. And another touching tribute to the victims of the Connecticut school shootings has just been planted in Utah. Redbud trees are native to Connecticut, and as of Friday, 26 redbud trees now line the entrance to the Salt Lake City Cemetery. Each tree has a picture of the Sandy Hook victims, including 6-year-old Emily Parker, whose parents are Utah natives. After the dedication of the trees, a candlelight vigil was held for the students and teachers of Sandy Hook. And a train was derailed in Illinois today. Coming up on News Source 16, how many cars came off the track and the chemical that one of them was leaking. And up next, we'll have your forecast as we head into our Monday morning.